Broncos country, what is going on? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Today, gonna dive into part one of my Michael Penix film review. So, y'all be sure to hit that like. Let me know your thoughts on him in the comments, and if this has swayed your opinion at all. And of course, hit that subscribe. We're on our way to 500 after really going hard on this channel the last month or so. So, would appreciate y'all joining me there. But gonna take a look at his first game against Oregon this year. This was in Washington, in Seattle, and some of the things that really pop off the tape about him that I really love, of course, is his arm, his accuracy. I think that, I would be thrilled if the Broncos are able to get him or Bo Nix as our quarterback. I'm not very picky this year. So I think there are a handful of guys that have some interesting skill sets, and I think Sean Payton should be able to get the most out of a lot of these quarterbacks. That's how I feel, but would be thrilled to have Michael Penix here. But let's go ahead and get started. I downloaded this video, going to be screen sharing a little bit differently so I can highlight. So bear with me. You can see my recording studio here for a second, but then we'll be able to get into this. Okay, so let's first start with play number 41, 431. Okay. And guys, I will do this a little bit on the playback speed. I do adjust this just so for copyright reasons. So sorry, we'll have to go a little bit slower than normal. But let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, so first, you're seeing here kind of like a 2-by-1 wide receiver set. You got a tight end on the right side of the formation as well, and this is something I would just chop up to be a money throw right here. Okay, so you're facing kind of a stacked box here, right? But watch Penix work here. He's able to get them with the hard count. Look how it understands he's got one-on-one coverage here, which is great. And look at this throw. Look at this ball placement. This is the type of stuff that I just love to see. Placing it right there for, look at that. Right over the shoulder. Isn't this beautiful stuff? Only where he can get it. His deep ball accuracy is phenomenal. And despite what you might have read, the man can throw over the middle, and I think does it really well. But Jalen Polk makes a great catch here. Again, great job by Michael Penix being able to just identify that, hey, I can throw one deep here. We got the penalty, so I'm going to take a big shot here. And really love it. And I like kind of doing the slow motion stuff so you can get a really good idea of his footwork, where his eyes are going, but just absolutely launches it. Y'all know he has a little bit different of a throwing motion than most, but I think that's just going to be something that you have to live with, just like Philip Rivers. Like, don't try and change it too much. He's got a good thing going for him, okay? So, wonderful throw to get them into scoring territory. And now on this next play, this 1st and 25, we're going to see him throw a wonderful touchdown here. Really nice throw of Michael Penix being able to understand where or what type of coverage he's looking at here. Again, we're going to see this tight end move across screen here, and that's going to give him a nice little cue of the coverage that he's going to be getting. Sees the safety crash down on that little pump fake to the screen to Jalen Polk, and then, just look at this throw. Understands that this post that this tight end is going to be running, that this little seam is going to be wide open, one-on-one coverage. This whole area of the field is going to be open, and I guess that was a little post two, but really nice throw. Only where the wide receiver can get it. And like, this is the type of stuff that I just love to see. I think he's got a fantastic arm and not just accurate in the long game, but I think displays pretty good accuracy all across the field, which is really nice. But people saying Michael Penix can't throw over the middle. I don't know. I know that's a little bit outside, but he's got that size that you like to see, 6'4". He's going to have no issue seeing over the line. Now, sometimes with this Phillip Rivers type motion, as we'll see later, it leaves open for a little bit more batted balls than you like to see, but that's just something you're going to have to live with. I mean, look at this. Decisive, only where he can get it. I mean, isn't that just a beautiful touchdown? I thought that was wonderful. Okay. Now, something that I pointed out with Bo Nix a lot is his ability to just throw the screen game like really well. Like, this isn't sexy stuff, but as we saw with Russell Wilson, man, like he could not throw that stuff very accurately a lot of the time, and it would stunt momentum of guys being able to get upfield quickly, which is, the whole purpose of the thing. So, all right, here we go. Bring that tight end in motion. We'll play action. You can see he's got this defender crashing in, so you're going to have two blockers on two defenders, and that is going to open up. Nice little play here. And look, so yeah, maybe it's thrown a little bit behind him, just a tad, but it's thrown to where he can continue his momentum upfield, gets it out quickly, and this is a first down. Nice little play action, gets it out quickly. Again, with him being able to throw from some different arm angles, that I think that can really help on the screen plays here. Really, really solid stuff. Love to see it. Okay, now let's move to 8:30. We got a 1st and 10 here, almost at the end of the first quarter. But here's an example of, again, his really good ball placement. And seeing you got two wide receivers to the right and then kind of a bunch formation with a Polk and that tight end. Now they're trying to split out a little bit, space out the defense a little bit. And yeah, sorry about this camera angle, guys. I could not control it, obviously. I understand he has this linebacker on this wide receiver right here. And I mean, just fantastic ball placement here. Throwing from the pocket, throwing from the opposite hash. This is really nice stuff. You'll love to see it. Sees that guy drop back. Again, I feel like that's good processing to where he understands, hey, zero's going to be open here on this route. And look how he throws that. Look at how he throws that. I mean, that is just beautiful stuff. Only where he can get it. My goodness. So I'm going to try and speed this up just a little bit. Guess I'll just pause a little bit more in between things, okay? So, that was time mark 8:30. Now let's go on to play. Actually, this next play here is a good example of him being able to understand what's going on with his mind. Here's an example where he sees a certain look and he gets us into the right play. And guys, this was what was so important with Peyton Manning in that last year. His arm was dying on him, but his brain was not, and he was able to get us in the right play most of the time. So, yeah, this is actually a running play and a really nice play here from Dylan Johnson. I mean, is able to shut a couple defenders right there. Small gain, but the fact that he turned that into a positive, I really did like. Okay. Now let's move on to 11:06. Okay. This is going to be a really fun third down throw that we see. Okay. Understands here that he's getting some zone here and just throws a really nice throw here to where only receiver could get it, catch and run. Maybe it's a little ideally outside of his range, but it's thrown in a way again in which wide receiver is able to still turn up field, get extra yards. That's what I like about him. I think his ball placement's pretty good in a lot of these routes. I mean, just look at it right there in the breadbasket. He's able to turn up field. Again, that's thrown in accurately. He's probably stopped short of the sticks. All right, now let's get to this amazing touchdown throw. It's actually this next play. One thing that I do want you guys to take a look at is just the anticipation that he has here. Placement and anticipation, okay? Well, like understanding that what kind of he's getting some man coverage and he's able to just place it where only his wide receiver can get it. I mean, look at that. The DB actually, I felt like had pretty decent coverage on there, like making up for initially getting beat. Guess it was Kyrie Jackson. Probably be a second round pick this year. Like, just incredible stuff for him to understand what's going to be available based on the type of coverage that he's getting, based on what he sees that safety doing. He sees him come down, cover that wide receiver a little bit, and then you see him. He's just able to, I mean, this is look from the opposite hash. Okay. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Touchdown. I love it. I love it. Okay. Now, say this man can't throw against pressure. We know that is a BS. Yes, he had some trouble against Michigan, best defense in the league, but or in college football. I'll give him some grace. 13:56. This might have been his best throw of the half, honestly. We're about halfway through. Now you see he understands that he's getting in blitz. And so that means this whole area of the field's going to be open. Now watch how he steps up, just fires a freaking dart here over the middle. Over the middle. Okay? Knowing he's about to have a chaotic pocket. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say that this was a touchdown. I was reading the wrong note that I made. This is one of his best throws of the day. I would agree. Okay? I don't know what y'all think right now, but this was the throw so far that I'm most impressed with. Hopefully, you guys are liking this little draw tool. Look at that. Again, not the best footwork, all that, but sometimes conditions are not going to be ideal. You see that guard is being pushed into him, or forgot if he was a guard or center, but just look at the ball placement there with pressure. Wow. First down. Now let's get to 15:52. We're going to see another nice throw here. Thought this was a nice read. It's a short throw. Again, this isn't anything like super sexy or anything like that, but we just haven't seen a quarterback here over the last couple of years being able to hit this consistently. Opposite hash. See, reads this very quickly, understands that he's going to be able to hit this. And the wide receiver, Jalen Polk, he throws it in a way in which he throws him even more open. I really like that play. Man, too bad this camera couldn't get it. Oh well. All right. Now, this is kind of it's a small play, but I did just want to show it because you might wonder, hey, was the Senior Bowl the first time this guy has played under center? No, played under center a little bit. I need to go find the statistics to see what he did under center, but this is going to be like a little end around play, if I remember correctly. But you can see under center. Yeah. So he's done it a little bit. Nice little throw there by the wide receiver. That's fun. Okay. Now let's go to 21. Whoops. 04. And we're going to see some really nice patience here. Okay. Where he's able to hit his check down. Now, I think he probably could have hit like his tight end in the flat or so. I'm interested to hear what you guys think. But understands that there's like kind of a zone being played here with these cross routes. These guys are running cross routes, okay? And I thought Penix, like this is when I would have liked to see him just hit this guy because he's at the 10-yard line and can probably work upfield a little bit, right? But Penix then looks to his second read. This guy's covered by this linebacker or safety. And then what I like is he understands, oh, okay, well, with this crosser clearing out this side of the defense, my back is going to be open. And again, hits a great check down. I mean, this is good placement, allows him to get upfield. Nice little open field juke right there. But again, this probably goes for about the same distance if he hits that tight end at first or wide receiver. Forget if it was a tight end or wide receiver. But yeah, I'm curious. Like, do you guys feel like, hey, this is where you want to hit him? Hit him right now. Whoops. Whoops. All right, let's see some pinpoint accuracy here at 22-19, shall we? Yeah, Dylan Johnson gets in there for the touchdown. Guy that we could get at the end of the draft or maybe undrafted. Now, this is a good example of just accuracy. Kind of this funny little 2-point conversion here. See, they bring this guy in motion, and these are offensive linemen, so they can initiate contact here prior to the pass being thrown. And what they're trying to do is flush out the rest of the defense to go this way so that they can bring this guy over here, catch this little bubble screen play. And because it's moving inside, you basically nullify this one free defender. So pretty interesting play here. And it's executed really well. And I mean, not the best like foot placement here, in my opinion, but he's able to deliver it accurately. And the play works to perfection pretty much. Here's another example of all this. Let's see, leads him open really well, touchdown. Thought that was really great. Okay. Now, you did hear me a little bit earlier on mention that the batted balls might just be something that you have to live with. And here's an example of that. Again, at 6'4", you would like to think that, hey, you're not really going to be dealing with that. But with his kind of lower sidearmish arm angle that he throws with, kind of that Phillip Rivers, and that was something that he dealt with during his career. It's just something that I feel like if he's a Broncos quarterback, we'll just have to live with and, take the many more positive throws that he's going to offer, the positive plays, rather than focusing on a few of the batted balls. But if he's able to continue to improve his anticipation, that becomes even less of an issue. But you saw that just get batted down at the line. See, and that's something where I feel like, yeah, if you're maybe throwing at a higher arm angle, you're able to hit this guy. But instead, it just goes nowhere. All right, now we're going to go to this next play. I had this as a nice throw against cover 4. And this was kind of like an interesting coverage here because you see like the safeties, they're like playing these areas right here. Whoops. All right. Sorry, I'm a child. Okay, but where was I? My note here is that I'd like to see him hit this with quicker anticipation, understanding what's going on. Again, you see the wide receiver here is already in his break. And as you can see, Michael Penix is still not in his delivery yet. But pretty decent release still. And he's able, again, to lead him in a way into where he could have taken this and run upfield, but cuts inside, maybe because he thought this guy was going to be crashing in a little bit more. I don't know. But if he's throwing that with even quicker anticipation, he's able to get upfield a little bit more. Goes for even more yards. But, I mean, just throws a nice ball. Again, look at that placement. Great stuff. Good placement. Great stuff. I love it. Okay. Now, these last 2 throws of the half, or last 3, man, it's tough. It's tough. But let's get to it. 25-12, okay. This is where you would like to see his footwork, where he's more so stepping towards the receiver rather than stepping towards the sideline. Again, this is something that we've seen. Bo Nix is something that he needs to tighten up as well. And it's just consistency. Penix doesn't do this. I mean, just look at where the feet are, with all of his throws, but sometimes this can be an issue. And clean up the footwork. This is an accurate throw. Tight end's able to catch it, and boom. So, you like to see him throwing on the run, but I know that guy's kind of chasing in or closing in pretty quickly, but if he just sets his feet, takes that extra split second just to make sure he's got the right feet, I think that this ball is thrown much better, and you see the tight end is able to get upfield, right? Oh, yeah, him working under center. Another example of that. But yeah, you see how just horizontal the hips are, the feet are. I know that's a lot easier said than done against pressure, though. Now, this is a sack that he took that I thought if he had just been okay hitting his tight end or saw his tight end, like keeping his eyes downfield. Again, Michael Penix isn't much of a scrambler or rusher. Interesting that he ran such a fast 40. What was he, 4.5, something like that? But you see he's starting to deal with some pressure, and a lot of his probably where he's looking with this, I'm guessing, is all these verticals, and then I think that's Kyrie Jackson is covering this guy here, and you see him step up into this free reign or free room where the pocket's open, kind of jukes a little bit, but this is where you'd like to see him maybe keep his eyes downfield a little bit more, to where, I mean, now you see where he's taking the sack. The cornerback is still just way off. And so my note here was that, hey, would have been nice to see him hit this wide receiver or tight end in the flat. I think as a wide receiver, number 2, just a little bit quicker. Oh, yeah, I think that's a sack. But you see, he saw him or got rid of the ball, but it was just a little too late. Okay, and lastly, we'll take a look at this last play. 26-25. This is basically the play that ends the half for the Huskies. And really strong throw here. It's just the wide receiver falls down. I think this is Polk. You can see Michael Penix just fires a dart in right here. And sorry, I don't know how to get rid of this thingy. But you can see he kind of fell down a little bit or like ran kind of the wrong route. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this, but I think it's a good display of his arm strength. But yeah, interception here. Yeah, you can just see like he just kind of ran and broke a little bit differently than where he was throwing the ball. Maybe this was just an inaccurate pass. But guys, that is part 1 of my Michael Penix film review. I think overall this was like one of the games that I really enjoyed watching of his, and it really made me a fan. I mean, this was a classic game between Oregon and Washington, and Michael Penix. I don't think there is a perfect quarterback in this class. I don't think there's anybody regarded as highly as somebody like Trevor Lawrence or Andrew Luck was. But Michael Penix is one of those guys that I love his confidence, his moxie. I think he's a really smart player. I just love his charisma and personality, and I would be thrilled if the Broncos picked him along with Bo Nix. I think that there's a lot to like about both of these players. But y'all, let me know what your thoughts are. I'll come out with part 2 tomorrow, and appreciate y'all's time as always. Be sure to hit that like and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And hit that subscribe as well, as we're on our way to 500 subscribers. So see you soon, Broncos country. And as always, go Broncos.